Toyota GR Yaris. Showdown. Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to episode 5 of the video series Road to the Ring, which covers the preparation of both the car and the driver in advance of taking my Mark 7 Golf GTI Clubsport S back to its spiritual home, the Nurburgring's fearsome Nordschleife. If you want to catch up on episodes 1 to 4, there is a link in the description of this video to the playlist. Now in today's video we're going to concentrate mainly on the preparation of the driver, i.e. me, because I've never driven a Mark 7 Golf GTI Clubsport S on track, and I think it's a bit dangerous to do it at the Nordschleife for the very first time. So in about 10 minutes I'm going to leave for Bedford Autodrome, which is a very, very safe circuit, and the purpose of today's video is basically to see if I can feel confident enough at Bedford to do fast, safe laps at the Nurburgring's Nordschleife, as well as having lots of fun. But before we go, let me just give you a quick look at what I've done in preparation for today. Now guys, it's a time in the video where I like to remind you how you can support the channel. The simplest way to do that is to subscribe. We're very close to 50,000, so every subscription means even more now than it does normally. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, then I'm sure you know how to subscribe by now. The other way to support the channel and to save yourself some money is to sell me your car, because I'm buying for a very reputable dealer and they can pay good money for good cars because they can get top money for them. So if you've got a good performance Volkswagen Audi to sell, then get in touch. We're looking for cars up to about 5 years old now, ideally cars in warranty, but lower mileage cars outside of warranty we'll give a go. I'm just off to see 2 Mark 7.5 Golf GTIs with under 20,000 miles. We've recently brought up GTIs, new shape RS3s, Clubsport S's. We're also looking for normal Club Sports as well with low mileage, full history, unmodified. So we've kind of opened up what we're buying a bit more. So if you've got a good low mileage, full history, performance Volkswagen or Audi, then get in touch. Now, one of the most important things to do before going on track is to fit your towing eye, just in case you get beached on gravel and you need to be pulled out. Normally it's just a few seconds work. They live in the toolkit in the boot. On a normal Golf, on the Clubsport S, there is no toolkit in the boot. You tend to find them in the glove box. And it should be just a few seconds to fit it, but why did it take me half an hour today? Well, mine was in the glove box, but could I get it to fit? No way. Some of the early cars have a reverse thread. On the Mark 7 it's clockwise and it just wouldn't go in. It took me a while to realise it was too big for the hole. It's actually looking at the back one where you can see where it threads into. You could tell it was too big. I checked the part number, it turned out to be a sort of an SUV size towing eye. I can't guarantee the dealer got that wrong originally because the cars had quite a few owners, but it's definitely the wrong one. I tried some other cars to get the towing eye from, see if they would fit, and they were either reverse thread or they just didn't fit. Luckily the RS6 had one that did fit, so this is an RS6 towing eye, guys. So if you've got a Clubsport S, just make sure it's the right one. Yeah, you never know when you might need it. Other than that, tyre pressure is set at 38 psi. That's a standard pressure. I will fiddle with them when I get to track. I've got this cordless tyre inflator that's about £30. Brilliant thing, very useful after a track day when the tyres are cooled down. You need to put some air in to get them back up to the normal road pressure. I've got a wheel brace just in case the wheels come loose, you never know, and that's just because the car never came with a wheel brace. I've got a screwdriver to take the front number plate off, and that's of course only because it looks really good with that one. I've got my camera bag in the car. I've stripped out as much as I can, apart from these things I'm going to drop off on the way. Nothing in the glove box, although probably should take a fire extinguisher. In the boot, I've got my helmet, and I've got a tyre repair kit and a microfiber and a GoPro on the roll bar, which should be a nice angle. So guys, I think that is it. I'm pretty prepared as well as I ever can be. I am a bit nervous. I haven't driven on track now for 11 months, so I'll be a little bit rusty, but yeah, Bedford's a great place to learn, so let's just get there. Now on the long, late apex type corners, that little orange cone, won't be a lightning green bend of course. About here, you're thinking that's a little bit late to get on the power. Trust me, it's correct. Okay, if you get on the power too early into that corner, you'll be off the track. Now thankfully at Bedford, being the safest circuit in the UK, it's generally not grass that you're going to go onto. Okay, it's a big patch of concrete. We've got lots of runoff area here. Concrete is not part of the circuit, everyone, yeah? Okay, so don't use it, alright? It's a get-out clause for you. Okay, it's not there to be used all the time. You want to basically circuit the front wheel right.
I dropped the tyre pressures from 38 all round to 31 at the front, 34 at the back. The backs don't get warm very quickly if at all, but they should get up to about 38 where we want them to be once they're warm. I'll come back in after a few laps and just see if we are where we want them to be. So basically you need to be running the road pressure of 38 when the tyres are as hot as they're going to get. I didn't really take enough out of them in my Cupra. I think last time it was a really warm evening and it was really horrible to drive. It really understeered. I thought there was something wrong with the car or the tyres or something, but just basically there was too much pressure in the tyres and just not enough of it was on the surface. You need to get every single thing out the car, and that's the good thing about track days. You can trust other people to not walk off with your bits. So everything is here. The car is as light as possible. There's a fire extinguisher in the glove box. Let's get on track. Well guys, this is a big moment, proper driving on track in the Clubsport S now. No more warm-ups, no more excuses. This is it. So yeah, I can't wait. I don't know what to expect. Will it be much better than the Cupra? Will it be slower than the Cupra? I don't know. The Cupra was really good. I felt there was room to improve, particularly in the steering. It was pretty fast though, but this should be a little bit faster, a little bit lighter. And there's some amazing machinery out here today to just, you know, not race, but just to see how this car compares, particularly on that long straight. So I'm running Goodyear's Eagle F1 Supersport R. It's a track-orientated version of the Supersport, so it's not as good in wet weather, but it works at higher temperature better than the Supersport, although that's still very good for a road tyre. And I'm hoping to come back here in the summer on a Supersport to see how that compares. I'm in race mode, as you might expect, and I've got ESP in sport mode, so it's still there, but it's slightly restricted. Got a Morgan three-wheeler in front of us, which is easily the coolest car here. You don't see them on the road much, so it's really going to be brilliant to see this on track today. Okay, nothing come in. So we've got to take it nice and easy, get some heat into the tyres. If you watch touring car racing, you'll see that they swap tyres around front to back after the formation lap because they just can't get any heat into them. Well, I haven't got the luxury of doing that today, so I've just got to go gingerly at least for a lap. Otherwise, I might have an early end to the evening, but even on cold tyres, it feels pretty good into the gutter here. Tyres will turn into lovely, and it does bite and then feather out the power. Yes! 83 into 400 into fifth at 114. I don't trust these brakes, because I know people who've driven with them on track, and they've not been very good. Oh yeah, it feels lovely on turning. There's so much bite. I've got the VAQ diff as well. In race mode it's super aggressive. And the second last corner, I think this one. Now, let's see what the pressure they've done after 2 hard laps. Okay, front right was 31, now it's only 32, so it's quite a cold evening actually now, there's a bit of a breeze, so that might explain that. I'm really surprised about that, so we'll put that off a little bit. Rear right's gone up from 34 to 35, so I need to try harder. Put that up to 36 here. That rear. 36, so yeah, we'll leave that as it is. Okay, front right is 33.5, so I'll put that up a little bit. So we've got a Porsche up front. If you're a long-term viewer to the channel, you'll know how I love to catch Porsches. I think that's the GTS 4 litre 718. It's a very tasty car, much harder to drive on the limit than this. Yeah, so this is the last corner. And then onto the brakes. We've still got brakes into second. The nose in. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let's change it up. Can't get in that corner. A bit faster now. Oh, I just need to get into my groove to catch that Porsche. Trust the car. Run the curve like Benny. Oh dear, top of third. Apex, come on. Tyres are squealing, that's good. Nice and wide on the gas. There is a delay to the clutch pedal coming back, which I'm sure you guys know all about. It's really, really annoying. It's a fifth. Come on, let's see a 3. 31, getting better. Then we've got some brakes, I reckon, maybe. Try that a bit faster next time. When I had my stage 2 brakes from racing on my Cupra, I was confident to get up to the almost 140, I think. Yeah, Panda. And then come on, get that nose in. Oh yes, we're nearly on the cone, it still turns in. Oh man, I've got to dodge that closer. Oh, she's getting closer, we've got a Fiesta in between us. Trust, yes, it still does the chicane. But it wide at that kind of speed when we did it. And just one pushes off. And I'm going a bit faster now. Let's just keep the speed. Come on, turn. Ah! 62 on entry there, early into fourth. Porsche isn't getting any nearer. Well, interestingly, just like my TCR, this car is making a like banging noise as the brakes cool down that you can feel through the chassis. Just turn the fan off. It was much hotter and much louder with my TCR. I thought I'd broken something properly, but yeah, it's just the contraction. Behind me, I think I'll let him go now. So, GR Yaris. Showdown. Bit of traffic. Third, this one.
it's now the morning after the night before, and as you can probably tell, I've switched back to the original Pretoria wheels and Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport tyres, not Super Sport Rs. That's because I prefer the look of the car on the Pretorias, and there's no better tyre for road use than the Super Sport. And this is how the car will be when it goes to the ring in a few weeks' time. And that's because these tyres will be well up to the job on the Nurburgring, because you don't have the same kind of lateral loading you do on a fast circuit like Bedford, but they'll be much better at dealing with bad weather, which you often get on the way to the ring. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I learned quite a few things about this car as well as others last night at the track event. Firstly, let's talk about that GR Yaris, which seemed suspiciously rather fast. On the straight, it was keeping its advantage over me. It was even maybe pulling away, and there is no way a standard GR Yaris should do that against the Clubsport S. I may not be the fastest guy in the corners, but I think I know how to press my right foot down really hard when the steering wheel is straight, and I should have been reeling in that GR. And this is not just bravado, it's hard facts. That GR Yaris produces 265 horsepower and is roughly the same weight as this 310 horsepower Golf, and that gives the Yaris a power to weight ratio of 207 brake horsepower per tonne versus 241 for the Golf. So it should have been able to reel it in pretty much on that straight. So I'm pretty sure that GR was tuned, so don't go thinking they're all that fast. If you know for sure, let me know in the comments. The most important thing I learned though was how this car compares to the Leon Cupra, which I drove at Bedford on the same track configuration exactly 11 months earlier. Now, Evo interestingly timed both cars a shorter version of the circuit, and they were just hundredths of a second in them. The Clubsport S was conveniently a little bit faster. So if you think you're going to whoop a Seat Leon Cupra 280's ass on track in a Clubsport S, you're not going to, because there really isn't an awful lot in it. There is in the detail though. So dynamically this car felt nicer to turn in. It wouldn't push on as you turn in going for the apex of the corner. The second gear corner, which is a really slow one, was particularly impressive. It just turned in and I was nearly driving into the cone, so that was good. It also revved out better as well. The only hardware difference is that we've got the Racing Line inlet elbow on this car. They both had the R600, but the Cupra didn't have the inlet elbow. So this just hits the rev limiter all the time. In the Cupra, you can feel the power ebbing away as you get close to it and then you change gear. It definitely felt different at the top end, which is good. Now, I'm pretty sure this car feels softer in its hardest mode, which is race mode, than the Leon was in its hardest mode, which was Cupra mode. And that's not such a good thing, because there's a corner after the first chicane where you're going left and then right, and that direction change made the car actually feel heavy, even though it's lighter than the Cupra. But the Cupra being stiffer just did that without so much sort of body movement. There is room for another project on the channel where I get another Cupra and I strip it and I make it a proper track car. I'm reluctant to do that to this car because it's just such a great road car, and also, let's face it, it's a little bit special. The other thing is, when you're driving on track in a car that costs 3 times more than the Cupra, you tend to, even though you don't consciously know it, you would drive with a little bit more restraint, because I don't get insured for track days. I just take the gamble, particularly at Bedford where it's quite safe and it was a dry evening, and it's a rare car. So if you bin it, not only are you out of pocket, you're also going to find it difficult to get another one, and you're going to go through your life knowing you've killed one of the 400 Clubsport S's. So there is that. So yeah, I think in time we'll get another project car on the channel I can tune. So yeah, overall I learned a lot about the car. It felt largely very safe, and I can't wait to get it out at the ring, which will be in mid-June. As ever guys, thanks for watching this Volks Wizard video. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and I'll see you for the next one very soon.